Good afternoon, everyone. How many days till Christmas? 3 days till Christmas. Yay! I don't even know. I don't even know what day it is. Hi, everybody. Good afternoon. How is everyone? Good? Y'all doing good? I'm going to try and broadcast from, is it really broadcast? Stream. It's not really broadcasting. From StreamYard. I deleted a lot of stuff off my computer and put it on a hard drive. So hopefully that helps reduce my CPU usage. What is everyone doing this fine Sunday? Fine. Whoa, where's the Eagles fan? I know, I saw it. He had a concussion. I don't know the score, though. Hold on, let me look. Not that I don't want to chat with you. They're still winning 24-14, fair play. They're still winning, bless his heart. While cooking, I've been watching Alex Jones' old depositions. You are so crazy. I can't watch. Look, I'm libertarian to the conservative to the point of like, just don't touch me, bro. Like, it just really depends on the topic. But I cannot tolerate Alex Jones. Not the sound of his voice, not the look on his face. Not because of anything. I just don't like him. It's just another thing where you gotta like appreciate their tone. And his tone is horrific. Crazy. I'm like, dude, just, you don't have to say everything you think. You just don't. I don't know how to tell people. You do not have to say everything that you think. It will come back to bite you. It just will. Even to the tune of $1 billion. It's crazy. Pepper was the first one. How are you, Pepper? How are you? You can't see the way I'm seated. I guess I have to sit closer. See it's this one. See the little reindeer? So cute. I had a poncho on today. Oh, you just sent me an email. Shall I take a look? Okay, let me see. Oh, the attachment. Fair play. I will share in just a bit. Thank you. It's a great idea. I will share absolutely. I want you to see my background. Look at the background I made today. Well, look at that. It's what we're going to talk about, but look at my little background. So cute. It's all Christmassy because I'm in the spirit. I'm not in the spirit. I'm not. I'll believe it when I see it. I'll believe Christmas when I see it. It's a cold it's chilly here. It's not cold. In Tallahassee, Florida, too. Hey, Michael, how are you? Hi, Tater. Murder, you cracked me up. Listen in Dallas. Old depositions. There's entertainment. No, he got a concussion. So cute. Good thing that team is not a one-man show, but bless his heart. Hi, Shelly. I was going to call you today or this week and then I thought, Patty, you're insane. You won't want to go. Trivia. Christmas vacation trivia at Ology. Did you go? I thought about you. I heard him on our morning show, the radio show. The radio station has a morning show, and it's Greg Tish is the name of the show. It's his name. And he had Cody Berger on from Christmas Vacation. Cody, I only saw Christmas Vacation once, but who did he play? Don't yell at me. Anyway, it was in Christmas vacation, and he was on a show. So he lives here. Rocky. He was cousin Rocky. And he was doing trivia at this beer brewery next to the place where I like to go smoke cigars. And I thought about Shelly because the last time I saw her was at Ology for trivia. Making a sausage roll or a beef Wellington. Oh, I'm so glad I can still laugh. I really am. Hi, Granny. How are you? Tennis Girl, thank you so much for being here with me. Really is appreciated. Yep. And Hanukkah's coming up. Definitely Hanukkah. I don't have a Hanukkah background yet. I'll make one because I have 8 days to do it. I don't have to be on time. Good afternoon, Rosie. How are you? Please be sure to hit that thumbs up. Thank you all to the mods. I really do appreciate it. Hi, Susan. How are you? You'll have to come with us when we go to Ology. She says, hello, Patty and everyone. Too many names to type at once. 24 waiting, Allison. Because they never know what I'm going to say. That's why. What are you talking about? Tennis Girl. Apparently life but suspended all but 30 years. Who are you talking about? What did the plea entail? I'm going backwards. Oh, the Oklahoma mom. I have no time for these mothers. I don't understand what's going on. I'm hoping that taking fluoride out of the water will help some of this nonsense. And I'm not even being sarcastic. Hi, Susan. How are you? Hey, Seagate. I always think of you as a hard drive because one of my hard drives, the brand is Seagate. That's what I think storage when I see you. Tater. Greetings from Ottawa. Hello, Gina. I bet it's cold there. Dude, I can't even stand that man. Tater says, I'm watching JLR show fake funeral scams using fake children that are alive to scam people at the corner of the roads. He is crackers. He is just literally making stuff up. Like he's following that Luigi case. And I'm like, I hope the family sues you. It's just crazy. I can't even repeat it because I don't want to be sued. You haven't been able to sign on for a live for at least a month. I've got so much to do. Well, guess what happened to me? I got hacked on Facebook. And guess how they got me? Because I always change my password on Facebook. Instagram. They went through my Instagram to get to my Facebook. And I hate Instagram. So I never go on Instagram. So I never thought about changing the password on Instagram because I never go on Instagram. The last time I went on Instagram was to follow Mia Wallace. That's it. 2 o'clock in the morning. So I was able to download all didn't take long. My activity on Instagram to figure out where the IP address was. I saw it happen. I was able to save the Instagram, but I wasn't able to save the Facebook. So thousands of followers, everything gone. Boop. Changed the email, changed the 2FA, changed it all because they went through Instagram. So if you have your Instagram and your Facebook linked, change your password on your Instagram or unlink it. Unlink it is probably the better of the two. It just never even occurred to me that linking the two would have put me at risk. Never. So I had to become a verified, which I hate Meta. I think Meta heard me. Verified on Instagram with a little blue check mark so I could get customer support so I could file a case. And now they're working on getting me my Facebook back. But that's how you have to do it. So if you get hacked from Facebook, he changed everything. Gadon. And that was his name, Gadon, Gaddan. That's the name they use. unlink it if you can, because I'll never link it again. And I'll probably delete the Instagram but I had to become verified to be able to get customer support. Thank God for Reddit. Thank God for Reddit, because it helped me. And then I have a case number and I'm just waiting. So unlink it or change your passwords all the time. Hi, Roberta. How are you? That's actually weird. What did they gain from that? What did they gain from it? They try to buy ads. They try to get your money from the ads. So my ads were on PayPal, like how I pay for my real estate ads and promotions. So that was through PayPal, which I had 2FA on it, so they couldn't do anything with the ads. It is a hacker, because I saw it. I saw it happening. So I'm never on Instagram, right? But I was awake. I had to take the dog out at like 2:00 in the morning. So I take Roscoe out, come back, open the phone, because that's what I do. This guy from Germany says, thank you for, I accepted your friend request. So I knew something was weird, because I didn't request his friendship. I tried to log it out real quick to get out of it, and I couldn't. I tried to log in Instagram. That gave me a hard time, but I was able to go in and save the Instagram. But I couldn't. He had already changed, because I'm watching Reels, and then he had already changed my Facebook, because all I did was unfriend and block the guy. And 5 seconds later, Facebook shut down, and I had my profile page, and that was it. So then I'm up all night, because my business goes through Facebook. And so I download my activity on Instagram, and you can see exactly what they do in the activity. So that's how it happened. And then when I sent it to, Meta, dude, Zuck is building a 5,000 square foot shelter. He calls it a shelter. It's a bomb shelter. And they can log me out of my Facebook profile that they own and tell me that they can't prove who I am, but they can let this guy run ramrod trying to use my PayPal and get my PayPal data. Nice. You do. You go through weekly, but that's how I did it, was Instagram. And when I was talking to Gage, real name isn't Gage either, on Instagram customer support, guarantee his name is not Gage, that he said that is why there's a security issue in the link. And of course there is, but they're protecting me from me instead of me from them. So I had to pay $14.99, which is a small drop in that bucket, to try and get this fixed. So we'll see. It is nuts. Thank you for your sorrow. So everyone saw I posted Donna Adelson, jury selection starts June 3rd. I found it on the 20th. They filed it on the 19th. So I posted the screenshots. They'll have jury selection through June 3rd to June 6th, and the trial should start that following Monday. 789 starts the 9th. So it will not be over July 4th weekend. Hi, Barb. How are you? Oh, my hair looks great today. Thank you very much. I'm going to have to figure out how to give myself a perm, too, because my girl can't do it anymore. She had to take another job. Nobody deleted the followers. It's just gone. Like, my entire account is disabled. So I had a secondary account, but they won't let me in that one. So I had to start a third one. I had to get a third email. Well, a bunch of emails, but I had to get one that has nothing to do with social media. That's what the girl, that Gage, told me to do. And start a new account, which I have nothing, but I'm in there so I can see. But Patty, now my business pages are all up. And of course the Facebook groups are up. I just can't get to it. Roberta, are you going to be on tonight? Because I moved this up so I can watch you. Oh. Your full fridge gave the spirit Friday night, and I'm getting a new great win somewhere. Aw. I hope they don't come at 8 a.m., but you need a refrigerator. It's Christmas. Meta has the worst customer support. Not so bad if you pay them. That's for sure. Hey, Crazy Joe, you got to pay them. You are. Okay, good. That's why Roberta Glass, True Crime Report. So let me show you Allison's letter from Eric. Let's do that first, because otherwise I will forget. Oh, Eric Lieber is an attorney. Wait, I gotta hold on. I gotta redact some of this stuff, people. I can't. Okay, I had to redact the addresses and stuff. Sorry, because God forbid a business address be exposed. Okay, so this is the letter. Our Eric Lieber, who is in the chat all the time, sent this to Mr. Stephen Wagstaff, Esquire. I did redact the addresses because of YouTube. To the homicide of Nancy Galvani, August 8th, 1982. Dear Mr. Wagstaff, I hope I'm saying that right. My purpose in writing to you is to bring to your attention injustice over 40 years duration. The murder of Nancy Galvani in 1982 by her estranged husband, Patrick, was not prosecuted, although evidence sufficient for a conviction existed at the time of the homicide. I share the opinion of many that is now the time to act, as the perpetrator is today in his 80s, yet continues to walk free. Allison Galvani, Patrick and Nancy's only child, was 5 years old at the time of her mother's murder and was raised by her father, Patrick, after her mother's murder. Allison hopes and deserves to be in the unenviable position of bringing her father to justice. Extensive evidence exists to support the successful prosecution of this crime, but time is short. Many hope that your office will prosecute and convict Patrick for the murder of his wife, Nancy. To refer to this case as cold would be disingenuous. Cool beans, Eric. Nice job. Just going to rearrange some of those words, and that's what I'll send. Something similar. So I wanted to, that's all you can do. And that's what I wanted to talk about today. There's two things. One, don't do YouTube lives and crate your dog so that the dog goes crazy. And then have a bark collar on the dog so the dog can't bark. Don't do it. It makes you look heinous. It makes you look absolutely heinous as a human being. And it's whatever followers you have left, they're only watching you to keep an eye on your damn dog. So I can't listen. I barely can watch you as it is. I only watch screenshots of you because I just find you insanely annoying. And how shall I say it? Hearing the dog scraping on the cage makes me want to call the Humane Society. I've thought about reporting the channel. I don't know that that'll help. Reporting KCL heart space. How do you have a heart space? How do you possibly have something called the heart space while your dog is like screaming for its life and screeching? Because it can't bark, because you have it muted, because you're shocking your dog, because your dog's irritating you. But then, Sunday, Patty. Why are you streaming while the damn dog is in the crate? Why are you doing it? The dog just wants to be held. Hold your dog. I know it's hard for you to shed feelings that aren't about yourself, but you really need to hold your dog. You can't learn your dog. You can't learn its personality. Its personality is going to be one of anxiety and strife, and it will never undo. It will never undo. We had a dog like that. We got a dog, a poor thing. It was from Madison County, which is 2 counties over to the east. And it was a Rhodesian Ridgeback. And it had been, I didn't know what I was doing. Literally, my son didn't either. It was just a beautiful dog, and we loved the dog. And he'd been in the cage, basically. I don't know what I was thinking. It was a no-kill pound. That's fantastic. But it had been crated and locked up, basically, for 2.5 years. So we get it, and it can't handle freedom. Like, it can't handle any freedom. We tried to train it. We tried to do it. My son took it when he finally moved out, and he had more space than we had because I have a small house, and the dog could not do anything. Like, the dog could not do anything. You couldn't train the dog. We took it to a trainer. It was such an anxious dog. That dog shook all the time. It just never had occurred to me that dog would have been crated for that. Like, we knew he'd been at the pound for 2.5 years, but it was after I did, research and found out that basically he'd been crated for 2.5 years. They didn't do anything. And it got bad because then little kids would come around and the dog did not handle it well at all. There was nothing. I just had never seen anything like it. Maybe if I'd had a farm or a space where the dog could just run and got the energy out, I don't know. But my son took his dog because it was his dog. We just paid for it. And then he gave it to his sister-in-law who had more space. And then the dog started biting. And so the dog couldn't be there and they had to put the dog down. And that's when I started to research. I was like, what? How? It wasn't the breed. It's not the breed. It was the treatment. And we couldn't be home all the time. We weren't home. My son was home a lot, but you couldn't soothe that dog enough. We gave it trazodone. We gave it Benadryl. We gave it whatever the vet would try to do until the vet said there was nothing more we can do. This dog has literally just lost its mind. Basically, like it had been in solitary confinement for 2.5 years. Think about it like that, and come out and you're trying to train the dog to be part of a family, and it just couldn't. And then when it started biting her little ones, it had to go. But it was a beautiful dog. Like, it was absolutely beautiful. And it killed us, but we didn't know. And then we had to go backwards in time and try to figure out what had happened. And then when this woman, I don't even want to say her name anymore, gives up her dog, because that is what will happen, that dog is going to have to be uber loved and adored and really have patient, full-time caregivers to undo what she is doing to that dog. So this is why when we got another dog, years later, my husband and I, we went and got a full breed dog that was a puppy, because I knew then I could control the outcome better, because we're not home. My husband's home all the time now, but I'm not home all the time, obviously. And Chris is home and he can take care of Roscoe when I can. But when I'm home, Roscoe's mine. Like, we are together. He doesn't leave my hip. He's on me all the time, and I love it. Like, he feels warm to me and cuddly, and he sleeps on my feet, which, do I look like the person that would want a dog in their bed? Absolutely not. But that dog is on my feet all night. I had to get used to it, but there was no moving. The dog was going to be on my feet. That's it. The dog won, right? But what are you doing? Somebody lock you up in a cage like that and let you beat on the walls. Crazy bitch. I mean, I can't watch it, but I'm getting text messages and calls from people like, Patty, you got to say something. Yeah, I will, because she watches it. I don't know if Tim Jansen and STS watch or Steve Cohen watch me. I don't know. I know Carl Steinbeck does occasionally, maybe AA Legal Focus, but somebody's got to go in she has some bit of respect for and tell her to stop that with the dog. Otherwise, it's going to escalate. A random stranger who's listening to her on YouTube while the dog is beating the crate, somebody wrote on, it's not funny, on Reddit, it was like it was trying to break out of Alcatraz. I'm like, somebody with some semblance of respect from her has got to go to her and tell her that's not how you do it. You got tons of money, you got 2 houses, pay for a trainer, learn how to use the dog, and the dog will learn how to love you. But what you're doing, everything you're doing, lady, is the opposite of what should be done. Get a cat. Get a gerbil. Gerbil will probably die. I can't even listen to it. I can't even make fun of you the proper way because I can't listen to your videos. I just don't know what you were thinking. But you can undo it, lady. You can undo it by getting either proper training or giving the dog to someone that can love the dog properly. Because you don't. You don't love the dog. You can tell. The world can tell. The number of views you have on your video is how people watching you abuse your dog. Crazy. Crazy bitch. Get a fish. Dude, I know. Watch the fish float. And meanwhile, you can't tell people that we all have to create boundaries and whatever salad bullshit that's coming out of your mouth stuff. You're not a psychologist. You're not a psychiatrist. You're not even a psych nurse. You're nothing. You're nothing in the medical field. Nothing. A massage therapist. And yet you're telling people how to live their life now and be in some Oprah speak, Dr. Phil, Judge Judy thing. Meanwhile, if any of those 3 knew what you were doing to the dog, they would take care of it. Here in Florida, what you're doing is a felony. I don't know if anyone knows that, but it is. Hi, Anne-Marie. Because she's trying to be on YouTube. Maui Swift, KCL. Don't make me say her name. Your 3 dogs pile into your bed every night. My daughter has 2 now. The others have passed away. And at one time she had 4. And I thought, you're going to have to get one of those double king size beds. I don't know how any of them sleep. Because there's 4 dogs, 2 adults, and at least 1 kid in a king-size bed. It's not enough room. We are having a great day, but I was on a rant. Sorry. Aloha, Jackie. Goodness gracious. My neighbor a few doors down had a dog that was barking all the time out of loneliness. We lived next door to a dog daycare. It was ridiculous. Oh, my God. I foster puppies, and this is really making me feel yuck, but it's just how it is. I have to have them as puppies and train them to me and my lifestyle. Oh, we really wanted to keep that Rhodesian, but my son was going to take it anyway. It wasn't meant for me the rest of my life. But if I would, it wasn't like it was chewing. It was just, this dog was constantly shaking. It was full of anxiety. Any noise, any situation, the dog would shake. Crazy. My cocker would bark whenever I was on the phone until I picked her up or sat on the floor with her. But that's what a dog like that's supposed to do. Okay, so when I shared with you last week, I got bit by a terrier. So embarrassing. But anyway, about ripped my leg off. And I had to research. Like I didn't know terriers. We had dachshunds growing up. It wasn't a thing to have a terrier. And so what I read was, the dog was just, even though I was retreating, I was walking away from the home. The dog's doing what dogs do. It's protecting whatever boundary I walked on. I don't know what I did because I was leaving and there were all these people in the house, but I'm walking away. Maybe the dog didn't want me to walk away. I don't know. But the dog's going to do what the dog does. Now, when I go to a property, I always ask, do you have dogs? Could you please either put them up? Sometimes the dog's already at the door. So what I've learned to do is I stand there because they're going to smell Roscoe or my cat around me. So I just stand there completely still, like stone. And I just let the dog breathe and inhale my dog. I just stand there. And they're like, are you okay? And I said, absolutely. I just want the dog to get used to me, because then I explain what happened. And they're like, oh, that's a great way to do it. I'm like, why to learn it? Because no one told me. And I just stand there completely straight. Now, if it's pit bulls or something like a Rottweiler that is just too much for me to possibly deal with, then I always ask them to put them away so that I could appraise the property or do the inspection. But otherwise, if it's a small little thing, I just really try to stand there and just let them absorb the situation so that they don't feel like I am just invading their space. But this lady, she has no business having her dog. Not today. Maybe she could get a trainer who could teach her how to bond with the dog and enjoy the dog. I don't know. I got dog equipment all over this office hidden because I don't want it to look like a doggy daycare when people come in here. But I have toys shoved in. I got the playpen in the back. We got a lot of dog stuff because I want my dog to want to be here. And I don't want him pissing all over the floor because he's bored or needs attention. It's just whack to me. I can't even. Can we all send our local Humane Society videos? I'm considering it myself. Someone is screen shooting every video that she's making. So, she doesn't know who it is. It's not me because I don't have time to do that. But they're screen shooting every video that this woman is making where you can hear the dog. It's already done. I kind of don't agree with dog pounds, breeders. All that crap does no good. And we're just like, oh, look at the pug with his. You have a prior abused Seagate. How did you undo it? We couldn't. It just was out of my wheelhouse. 3 Chihuahuas, 1 or 2 cats, and a king. Bless your heart. You always tell people that you come to repair something. I have a dog. I do too, because I don't want someone to sue me. And I don't want my dog to get out. I want someone to be aware that I have a dog. I have a crate in my garage for if we have to travel, but my dog doesn't go in that crate at all. Never did. He went in the crate here when he was a baby because I had to. This isn't my furniture. It's Scott's furniture. So I had to crate him a little bit here when I would leave, but very rarely. And now he doesn't get crated at all. We have a Humane Society here. We can complain about dog abuse, maybe send them to the local ones. I was just going to put it up on Twitter. She blocked me on Twitter, so she wouldn't even see it. She should have gotten a cat. PETA tends to terminate pets they confiscate. Oh, I didn't know that. You have a terrier and he's a bit nuts. Right? She's really good at flowers. I've said that. Like, go do your flowers. No. There's really probably nothing. Yeah, someone today sent me, Debbie Martin says she doesn't like the barking and the husband hates dogs. He's written about it, really hates them. Why do this? Someone sent me today the husband's statement about dogs. I mean, he hates them. I mean, it was from a 2015 blog post. I mean, he just thinks they should be run over by cars, basically. I rescued a husky that had been tied outside 24/7 from up north. He's the most lovable dog I ever had. He's spoiled now. Bless your heart. Good for you. We had an English Cocker Spaniel as a family when I was wee. Oh, just like Prince William. I think she would say something, being teenage silence is everything. I can't watch it either, Stevie. And I'm a moderator in that group. I can't watch it. It's too much. Who come to visit? I was saying Cody Berger. Is that what you mean? I hope you have an abundance of joy, Anita. One of my pups has some trauma in the background. Shelly says she does not like guys and is extremely nervous with new people. We have a process for introducing them. For me, because I do go into so many strangers' homes, right? The best thing that I have adapted is to just stand there and let them, and then they walk away. Then I'm like, yeah, and I can do what I want. If you have a crate, keep the door open so they can go in and out. And now I can't. I just can't listen to it. Your cocker was the best. We had a cocker. I think it was no, we had a cockapoo growing up. Pierre was his name. Then he had a stroke. It was the funniest thing. So he had a stroke because he was really old, and he would walk sideways, like so bad. But he would like walk sideways, like his little 4 feet wouldn't go straight. He would always go at an angle. It's funny. You remember her performance when her husband announced they will get a puppy? She gets teary-eyed. She's so good. Just fake. Everything is fake. How did these people can't even remember what they say because they lie all the time. My pit bull's 80 pounds and she would lick you to death. She loves everyone and I'd be lost without her. But you could also sick her on somebody too. I mean, it goes both ways. My daughter had a pit. Oh, my son, Sydney. I love that dog. I used to babysit Sydney when he would go out of town. She had a tumor around her heart and she like died in 5 minutes. So sad. I love me some Sydney. Dude, I loved walk. The best thing in the world, because that dog was so docile, like yours, was taking Sydney for a walk in our neighborhood. Everybody would just walk the other side of the road. I loved it. Nobody would bother me. It was great. I mean, she wasn't going to do anything. She was like 14. But he got her from the pound and she was brindled. She was like this burgundy color. She was absolutely beautiful with a white face. Did she get it from a breeder? Did she get it from a breeder? Yeah, I was thinking that too. There's doggy daycares out there. You got the money, lady. Hey, Michelle, how are you? We rescued a pitty and what a joy she is. Yeah, both my kids have had them and it really is. Loving all the dog lovers here. It is June, Rosemary. I said it. So June 3rd, to remind everyone, is Donna Donna's jury selection. And it should end, they're giving jury selection 3 days, and then the trial starts on the 9th. We rescued a pitty. Yeah. My cousin, whose dog saved them from their house fire last week, were pit bulls. Well, my husband, who was saved from my Maltese. That's what I mean. Like, you've never seen another YouTube with comments turned off, huh? Interesting. Yeah. Thank you for writing that letter, Eric, and letting me read it. I appreciate it very much. We walk sideways after Christmas. Oh, no, dear. She is not off YouTube. No. There's a lot of people who have border collies around here. And the other one that's, which I think they're absolutely beautiful, are the Australian sheepdogs. They're so beautiful. I just don't have the space for one. Tim Jansen has 2 dogs as well as Joel, both huge dog lovers. They post about their dogs all the time. There's border collies around here. I wonder what happened to the dogs. Anya says, my neighbor was leaving her dogs outside, no fence and no supervision. Someone called the Humane Society. Eventually, they took the dogs. Tater says, I travel as a hairdresser. 90% of my clients have dogs, all but 2 like me. I sprayed them with water and they leave me alone. I mean, that's fair. Water's easy. Can I tell you about these 2 dogs? So I had an open house 2 Sundays ago in Gadsden County, which is the county to our west. Beautiful little town. Havana is what it's called. And it's on a couple acres, and the whole neighborhood did an open house. So it's gated community, and it's all woodsy. It looks kind of like you're driving through North Carolina. You wouldn't even believe you're in Florida. And this, just adorable. They have Pomeranians. So they drive up, and there's 2 Pomeranians. And of course, the female is just yipping at me, like just yipping away. And the wife gets out. They were the first ones to the open house. The wife gets out. She's an older woman. She's older than me. And then the husband gets out, and he goes, she just needs to stay in the car. And because it was beautiful out, it wasn't hurting the dog. She just needs to stay in the car and learn you can't bark like that. They're like 13. They were brother and sister. And I was like, you can bring the dog in. It's fine because the house is vacant. There was no carpet. I was like, just bring the dog in. So they brought the dogs in. And do you know the names of the dogs? So cute. Mork and Mindy. Absolutely adorable. I was like, I am so jealous of those names. And they were like 11 minutes apart. And the girl just continued to yip at me. She just wanted to talk. And the boy was just so docile. But they were adorable. And you just have to let them be the dog that they are. You can't undo that because it's not fair. I mean, you can't do it necessarily with your children. You can't do it with your husband. That's for damn sure. You can't. So you just got to let them be who they are. And I just kind of yuck it up with the dog, and they're fine. But Mork and Mindy, is that not the cutest names ever? It was. These super cute names. You always cry when the dog wins at the dog shows. Oh, she said that breeder was a kid who only lived a short distance from her. Jackie, I'd like to get back on my Facebook. I would. Frisian Stabby Hound sheepdogs are very cute. I'm going to look that one up. Frisian Stabby Hound. Oh my goodness. Look at that baby. I hate these sites. Did I tell you? They really look like an Australian sheepdog. They're kind of the same build. That is so cute. A rarest dog breed in the world. It hails from Dutch province of Friesland. Damn. These dogs used to be found nearly exclusively on farms, which makes sense, whose owners had limited means and needed a general purpose farm dog. Nice. Beautiful dog. Nanu. I know. I mean, it's such a great name. Such a great name. Mork from Ork. Could have been the Amish. She's right on the the lake house is right on the border of New York, kind of upper central. Ooh, Christine, congratulations. Waiting for your realtor to confirm the house we found in Jacksonville is yours. Congratulations. Mork and Mindy definitely beats J-Lo and Ben. You have a 9-month-old lab that won't stop chewing. Yeah, I don't have a lab. I'd love a lab. I saw there were some retrievers nearby. We were at the cigar shop, Jerry Cigars, breakfast. We're making breakfast outside. Don't ask. And this guy walks up with this retriever. And it was reddish. I was like, where'd you get that dog? He got it at Fort Walton. I was like, I called the breeder. She had one. And then she had a friend that used the same sire here in town. And the dog's big. And again, I only have 1,000 square feet. So I was like, okay, everyone, talk me out of this dog. You know what got me out of the dog was hurricane. Because I'd have to travel with 2 dogs and one being very large. I was like, I can't. But it was so beautiful. $14 pairs of shoes, a key fob, hair accessories, and that's just a partial list. Hey, Lily, how are you? And a boy named Sue. Yeah. Oh, that would be fun to name one Johnny and one Cash. That would be fun. You have a client who has 3 dogs, and their names are Hank, Waylon, Jesse, and Cash. That's cute. My son's 3 dogs are Millie, Merlin, and Maisel. I'll tell you, Lizzie, my daughter-in-law, should I call her Izzy Lay? Izzy Lay is very good at naming animals. Millie is a white lab, basically. She's so blonde, she's white. And then the 2 German short-haired pointers, Maisel and Merlin. It's the cutest thing ever. And they're like goats. I mean, they just go. And my son has, he has radios around their collar that he knows where they are within like 3 miles if they get out. They haven't gotten out, but that's what he put on them because they're just so fast. I'm making you miss your Yorkie. Oh man, I'm so sorry. "5 degrees here in Vermont today, but it's beautiful." How did I come up with the name Roscoe? It was my grandfather's name. So he died in 1939. I never knew him, of course. And I always loved the name. And there was a man on Ryan's Hope. His name was Roscoe. His real life name is Roscoe. And I was like, God, I just love that name. And my grandmother called him Ross. He was killed. A piece of machinery fell on his head. And unfortunately, he lived for 12 hours. And her name was Amanda Myrtle. But he called her Mert, which there's a Mert in the chat often, I think out of Texas. And so when I see that name, it just brings, love it. So I had told my mother I was going to name a dog Roscoe. And she was like, no, you're not. I'm like, well, yes, I am. So I am. I in fact am. And I wanted to name my child Roscoe. That wasn't happening. And then I was like, well, I'll name a child Ross, because that's what she called him. And I didn't win that war either. And so I was like, I'm getting a dog and I'm naming it Roscoe. And I had to wait till she passed away. But his name is my mother's maiden name is Appleby. So his name is Roscoe Appleby Wilson. He's so cute. I mean, you just can't lock that dog up. Like, you just can't. So that's how I got Roscoe. And it's so funny because people aren't here, we're in the South. So Roscoe to them is like Roscoe P. Cole, whatever. And I'm like, it's my grandfather. And they're like, oh, that's so. So that's how I got Roscoe. And if I had if I do get another Maltese, which we go back and forth and consider, I would name it Mert. I would get, even if it would be a boy, but I would call it Mert. M-E-R-T. I wouldn't get a girl. You have a son named Ross. I love that name. Roscoe Appleby Wilson. I know, it's so cute. I know. That's what people think it is, but it's not. It's the grandfather. Friesian horses are the cutest black horse breed around and gentlest of horses. You used to watch Ryan's Hope long ago. The guy who was on there, what was his character's name? Hold on. He just passed away. And my mom would watch. Roscoe Bourne was his name on Real Life. What was his name on the show? He played Joe Novak. He was in Troubled Mob Air. And my mom and I would watch it, and she's like, that's my dad's name. I was like, yeah, I know. I know it is, Mom. But then she's like, you're not naming your dog Roscoe. She didn't like it at all. They aren't meant to be in a cage, dear. I Can Smell Crazy a Mile Away, which is a great name. I tried telling people about KCL over a year ago, and everyone defended her. Stuffed animal violation. No. Hello from Africa and good night. 11 p.m. Hi, Kathy. Dogs are meant to be kept in a cage. KCL in a cage with her pet. She is stupid. Cooter Brown, so she could run around the neighborhood yelling Cooter Brown. That's great. We had not one named Cheater, jumped everything. Violated stuffed animals. That's great. Aw. Friesian horses. Are they the ones with the really long braids? What's going on in the Netherlands that you've got all that going on? Why is all that hair? Damn, that's beautiful horse. It's quite large too. Damn. I miss my black lab, says Donna D. She went over the rainbow 8 years ago. My daughter named her Timber because she wanted me to be sitting on the back calling Timber. Now you have a lab terrier mixed. Free KCL dog from the detention center. So crazy. Oh, I never did. I gotta say, I never fell for it. I have nothing nice. I really have nothing nice to say, and it's Christmas week, so I'm going to finish. I wonder who got Sarah Boone's handicapped dogs. I don't know. The Eagles are winning with 2 minutes left. Bless your heart. 30-28. 3-5. Washington at the Washington 22. Eagles have the ball. We'd be watching it, except I don't want to copyright. Someone's going to have to watch it for me. Hi, Maria. Love you too. Happy Christmas. I love that you all say Happy Christmas. Are you going to be watching, and you have Father Christmas, you really say Santa. Are you going to watch Gavin and Stacey on the 25th? My grand dog is a boxer named Bam Bam, and he's such a gem. Really? You had to? Seagate, you gave to the coffee fund. Well, that's fine, because I think the coffee fund stole our money, so. You think you've heard her dogs have passed away? Hold on. Oh, it's not her. Somebody from Mississippi. I don't know. I have to look it up. One was blind and one was deaf. Crazy lady. She's another one. You will be watching Gavin and Stacey on Christmas Day. It's a huge success here. It will, well, I have BritBox, so I think I can watch it on BritBox, right? I think I watch it on BritBox. I can watch it on the 26th. I think I can watch it on the 26th. We'll see. It's so funny. I'm so excited. I hope they don't. Yeah, I can watch it on the 26th. The episode is 90 minutes long. I have to start from the beginning. I got to watch it all from the beginning. Stop it. She was the best. Timber. Is Gavin and Stacey on BritBox? It is, but you got to start from the beginning. The whole thing is so funny. Like I watched the show to the point of like I tried to find all the inconsistency in the editing, like when the condiments are on the table, where the salt and pepper shakers are, and how they move around on the table. Like that's how often I watch it, and it is just so funny. I love that you love Gavin and Stacey. I named my truck Nessa. My truck is Nessa. Eagles are ahead. 33. You do that too, watching TV. Like if I watch it enough, I do it with Gilmore Girls and I do it with Seinfeld. Like with Seinfeld, it's important though, because if you're watching Seinfeld and there's the Superman doll goes to different locations at different parts of the show as it airs in that 22 minutes. And also the cereal boxes move. So you got to watch it. Hi, Tracy. How are you? She started following you on Instagram. You watch it for me. You're going to watch it fresh. Don't tell me the ending. Don't tell me. I mean, it'll be all over the news. It's not like I won't know. Oh, yeah. It's like when you watch Pretty Woman, and she's in the penthouse with Richard Gere. And she starts out with a croissant in her mouth when she's sitting on the table and he tells her to get off the table, and then she ends up with a pancake in her mouth, kind of like that. And you guys, that whatever steak sauce you guys have, what is it called? The British, what is it called? They sell it here, HP sauce. So if you watch when they're sitting at the table on Gavin and Stacey, the HP sauce is what gets moved around on the table. Hi, Bling, how are you? It's like, where's Waldo, for sure. Yeah, my truck is called Nessa. I know, minute 52. Oh my goodness. They have to win. I just can't take it. I really don't want to listen to it. Losing to anyone named the Commanders, 9-5 team. They have to win. Don't forget to hit the like button. So the other thing I wanted to talk about after I'm done ranting about that woman's puppy, it's a puppy, is, ooh, don't even tell Bling. Bling will drive across the country and go pick up that dog. Canada has HP sauce too. I buy it. My hair looks extra pretty. Well, thank you very much. I had my head freshly shaved yesterday. Brown sauce is lush. HP. The bank is saying it could be 5 months to close. It's an assumable loan. Is that normal? Both buyer and seller, and I want an assumable loan. Who's the bank? Christine, email me at pattyisfunny@g.com. You know what I mean? GMA. And tell me who the lender is. Best of us for the rest of us. My hair is beautiful. Thank you. I've seen H. Yes, the hoe sauce lives. The hoe sauce is definitely here in the U.S. I don't know who Cassie and Christy Mack are. I don't know who they are. Fun fact, HP sauce, UK Parliament's brown sauce, is made by Heinz in the Netherlands, but we don't get it. And Heinz is from Pennsylvania. Best ketchup you'll ever buy. And it used to be where the Pittsburgh Steelers play was Heinz, but now it's some other dumbass name. I saw clips of the KCL video and read it. I had to exit. My heart can't take the treatment. It makes me cry, I know. It's really bad. HP sauce is like, oh my God, what's this score? I'm getting a little flutter in my stomach right now with this game. Okay. 3rd and 1 at Philly 14. Jesus, Mary and Joseph. Did you watch that crazy story about Carlos Watson? No. I started it and I fell asleep. I'm very sorry. I didn't really understand it. Is there more to it? I don't even know who Carlos Watson was. That's what I was saying. Oh, the Aussie media thing. I've never even heard of him. How do you just like have a fake, an entirely fake company? Hose sauce behind. Oh, they won. It's over. Thank God. Thank you for your input on this. 10 seconds left. 2nd and goal at Philly 10. It says there's still 10 seconds, but I'm probably behind. I mean, even you have to start from the beginning. So that's what I recall. He was asking for. I was like, how do people do that? So there's a company, a real estate company here in the U.S. called Compass. And Compass is now buying up other real estate companies, but they've never made a profit. How do they do that? Like, I don't know enough about the scam of corporate investments to make, so I'm going to pay closer attention to that video. But I was like, how do you get that kind of money when you never make money, you're never profiting, and now you're buying companies? They just bought Christie's. Compass just bought Christie's. Is it comedy? Yes. Gavin and Stacey are one of the couples. And then the other couple is actually James Corden, who used to be on The Late Show here, and Ruth Jones. And they were on a couple other shows. Fat People was one. They were on a couple smaller UK shows. But when Gavin and Stacey came out, it just became so big. It was so funny that it just became a thing. It was MSNBC. Did they get a touchdown? Stop it. Yes, they did. You're going to see me weeping right here right here. The Hewlett Packard of condiments. James Corden is an asshole. He really is. His head just got so big. I mean, he basically got run out of town here. He really did. He just got to be so annoying. There's videos of him on YouTube in an airport. Like, dude, you can afford a private plane. And he's just railing against everybody that he doesn't get his way. So sad. They could be, yeah, but they're not showing a profit. It's Compass, Compass, and it's a real estate company. And they just bought Christie's real estate, which is, like Christie's, the museum. It's a big deal. And they bought some other smaller Louisiana companies. They can come by mine. They can come by me. They can come. Compass, if you're listening, I value what you say. You can come by our company. Patty, what body of water is Tim Jansen's house on? It's just a pond. Sorry, Tim, but it is. It's just a pond. I think he's in more. Hold on. It's Lake Hall. It's a lake, but it's not that big. It's not like a lake. It's not like a Georgia lake, okay? It's not. It's Lake Hall. It's not. Like, it's not that big. It's called Lake Hall. I watch enough British television that I can get through the Cockney. If that makes sense. I'm very sad right now. But Jalen Hurts was hurt, so it's horrible. Oh, people have boat docks here, but it is a lake. I mean, it's called Lake Hall. But people have boat docks on large ponds here. And they go fishing off the back of them. But it's not that big. Like, let me show you. Boats without gas-powered motors are allowed. This is what it looks like. I'm not going to show you his house. But this is the Visit Tallahassee Lake Hall. So it's this is it right here. I mean, it's not a Georgia lake. And they were like, you can swim in it. No one's swimming in it, okay? Because there's gators everywhere. No, I don't think it's man-made. No, I think it's a natural lake. That's my point. It's a pond. You're still watching Vera. So I have a 92 Land Cruiser Toyota. It's right side driving. So you drive on the right side instead of left side. And that her name is Vera. His house is not sold, and I have no idea where Wendy is. Well, I hope they all have a great time. One of my favorite British comedians is Catherine Tate, so I try to watch her a lot. Love her. They're all like that, dear. EXP is like that. Keller Williams is like that. They're all like that. I don't think there's incentives to join Compass. I know Keller Williams there are. No, it says they're no longer, no more cash or equity incentives. Compass has publicly stated they're no longer using cash bonuses or stock options. EXP is another one, but they do that. And Keller Williams offers profit sharing, so they do that. Is Wendy in Austin? She has not called me lately, so I'm not quite sure. Hi, Mia. How are you? I'm having a fine weekend. Gators, yeah. There is no body of water that does not have gators. You're a Monty Python guy mostly. It's not like Lake Tappan. Yeah, let me show you that. Like that is a much larger lake. This is Lake Tappan. Much larger lake. And it separates the counties. Let me see a better picture like that. It's very, very, very big. It runs in between two counties. So that's Lake Tappan. It goes the whole way. This is Leon County, and then that's Gadsden County. And Liberty County, it also goes to Liberty. So you can see this right here. And then right up here, this is Lake Hall. Lake Talquin, Lake Hall. See how tiny that is? Lake Hall. We don't have a lot of water here. I remember when that man drugged me here to my first ex-husband. And said, I'm like, there's no water. Why would I live here? There's no ocean. There's no nothing. He's like, there's lakes. What can you do in a lake? Okay, I'm not swimming in a lake in Florida because there's gators. No, they're everywhere. What is doing that? Do the gators come out of their water habitat like we have deer? During mating season, primarily. I go boating on Lake Erie in the summer. That's a lake. Everything's bigger in the north. Just don't think it's like, when you're appraising a property. I roll my eyes at this, but they're like, it's water frontage. Really? Okay. Water frontage. This implies, when I say water frontage, this implies, where's it? Even this lake's bigger. I mean, it's not, it is water frontage, of course, but it's really not. Like in the whole scheme of things, it is not water frontage, okay? Do you see a lot of water here? No, you don't. And then this is, no offense to everybody who owns property there, some of the ugliest water you will ever see. It's brown. It's very brackish. So this is not, let me show you because I didn't turn it on. But this is brownish water, not the best. And then they want to tell me, everybody here, like, Patty, it is. No, it's not. They're like, Patty, Lake Bradford Lake, this is a bigger lake than Lake Hall. It's just the location. The location makes you money, right? So, Lake Hall. This is Lake Jackson right here, bigger. This is a big sinkhole. So some days all the water will be gone. It just flows out because it's a sinkhole. When I first moved here, it was empty for years. Oh, Patty, my ex-husband. Patty, you can go, and what can we do, dear? There is no water there. It's a sinkhole. Can't do anything. There's a lake. This isn't, is that the lake? No. Where's the lake by FSU? Oh, here it is, Lake Bradford. That's man-made. Look at it. It's not real. There's a lot of those here. And then this is Lake Talquin. It's a pond. I'm not disparaging it, but it's not lake frontage. Pond frontage. Okay, apparently Compass raised $325 million off the back of a tech portal. Interesting. They have nice signs. No gators. That's funny. Okay, so the other thing I wanted to talk about was, so Richard Allen was sentenced to 130 years. Yay! And there's a whole world of people that believe the man is free or innocent, not free, that he's innocent. Fair play. But the reasoning, this is what I wanted to bring up, and I brought it up on ChatGPT. So their reasoning is, well, not all the evidence was able to be presented. And an attorney said the second part. An attorney on Twitter who looks like he shits outside in the woods, complete naturist, scares the shit out of me. He says that Richard Allen was not able to use his First Amendment right to present the defense of his choice. This is an attorney. You don't get to do that. So I ask ChatGPT is my friend. It helped me pass school for sure. Like if I didn't have ChatGPT, I wouldn't have straight A's. There's just no way. It answered questions for me because I could say, hey, ChatGPT, could you answer this question in like you're talking to a fourth grader? And they would literally dumb it down so that I could understand the topic better. I mean, there's some things that I have literally taken. Massachusetts with Karen Reed, their motions are so beautifully written, but words that we just do not use in our everyday, and we certainly don't use in Florida. And the manifest destiny, like the manifest, everything is a manifest. It's the manifest that, what? Why are you saying this? So I'll ask ChatGPT to present it like I'm a normal person so that I can understand what they're talking about. So I wanted to go back to that person who clearly shits in the woods and says that Richard Allen did not get his First Amendment right in a courtroom. You don't really get that. It is not an absolute. So I ask, this is my prompt. In the USA, is a defendant in a criminal case allowed to present whatever defense they want? Because people are saying he has to be innocent. It's factually true. Because he didn't get to present the defense he wants. Everyone's corrupt, because that's what they say. Everybody is corrupt because nobody allowed this Odinism to go through. Chat is neutral, right? So in the USA, is a defendant in a criminal case allowed to present whatever defense they want? In the US, a defendant in a criminal case has the constitutional right to present a defense. However, the right is not unlimited. It's also, like Judge Everett said in the Don Adelson case, you have the right to have the representation you want, but that is also not absolute. The defense they present must comply with the rules of evidence and legal standards set by the court. Here are some key factors. And they go on. Legal relevance. A defense must be relevant to the charges. Irrelevant or baseless defenses, Odinism, can be excluded by the court. For example, a defendant cannot claim a defense that has no connection to the facts or legal elements of the crime, which is what the judge said. Judge Gold said to the defense and the world, if they had facts that say there was an Odinist living 2 doors down and they were recently in the forest or in the woods that day, yes, but they had nothing. They had nothing to go along with that. There was nothing to corroborate. So the admissibility of evidence is number 2. Evidence supporting the defense must meet the rules of admissibility, including relevance, reliability, and absence of undue prejudice. Fair play. Courts exclude evidence that is speculative, hearsay with some exceptions, or otherwise inadmissible under the rules of evidence. And remember, the books are like this, right? So YouTube lawyers like myself, you got to read that or ask. You got to ask questions. You just can't say A, B, and C judges are corrupt because they didn't let the evidence that you say exonerate someone in, because that's not how it works. And those defense attorneys know. I don't know what's going to happen to those defense attorneys that represented Richard Allen, but I hope there is some excoriation going on for releasing the photos and just being absolute assholes. Like, I just hope something happens to them. Recognize legal defenses. Here where we are for Richard Allen. Defenses must generally fall within established legal frameworks such as self-defense, we know what that is, an alibi, insanity, or duress. Frivolous or illegitimate defenses. Court do not allow defenses based on conspiracy theories, fraud, or arguments that lack a legal basis, aka Richard Allen Odinism. Procedural requirements. Defendants must notify the court and the prosecution in advance if they plan to present certain defenses such as insanity or alibi or self-defense. That the one I spoke of recently was Stephen Lincoln and Judge Everett. Judge Everett was overturned because he did not allow Stephen Lincoln, he was convicted of murder of his roommate, who was only a 33-year-old nurse, and this dude worked for FedEx, to present a stand your ground. And then the Court of Appeals here in Florida did remand it back to Everett, and he had a new trial, and he was found convicted twice. But you have to allow it if it makes sense. Procedural requirements. Defendants must notify the court. This allows the prosecution time to investigate and therefore respond. Ethical obligations of defense attorneys. If represented by an attorney, the lawyer must adhere to the ethical standards and cannot knowingly present a false or fraudulent defense, aka Daniel Rashbaum, aka Charlie Adelson, and his hoo-ha that made absolutely no sense that put him in prison for life. If a defendant insists on presenting such a defense, it can lead to conflicts with their attorney or even their attorney's withdrawal. Here we are. There are key constitutional protections. It's not the First Amendment. It's the 6th and the 5th. 6 being guarantees the right to legal counsel, fair trial, and the ability to confront witnesses, not absolute. And the 5th Amendment protects against self-incrimination. That was fair play. But I was like, I need more. Prompt. What cases is the frivolous defense based on? So obviously, the majority of us know that every statement that is being said here is based on case precedents. So the idea of excluding frivolous defenses in criminal trials is rooted in legal principles in case law that prioritize relevance, admissibility, and judicial economy. You cannot present every piece of evidence. It's never happened. It will never happen, ever. It doesn't matter how many YouTuber, Twitter people, Instagram haters of the American judicial system there are. It's not happening. While no single case establishes a blanket rule against frivolous defenses, various cases illustrate how courts have rejected or disallowed defenses that are baseless, irrelevant, or lacking legal merit, aka Odinism. Here are some notable examples. Defenses based on irrelevant beliefs. The defendant argued they were not subject to federal tax laws because they were a sovereign citizen. We hear this a lot if you watch a lot of cases where people don't want to pay their taxes. Outcome, the court dismissed the defense as frivolous, ruling that the personal beliefs about sovereignty do not exempt from federal law. Principal arguments that contradict established law or are rooted in personal ideologies without legal support are focused. Conspiracy theory based. United States versus Sheffer. The defendant wanted to introduce polygraph results to support a theory of government conspiracy, aka Karen Reed. Outcome, the court upheld the exclusion of the polygraph as unreliable. Principle, court rejects defenses relying on speculative evidence such as conspiracy. I mean, Melody Harris is a great one because the son, Scott, didn't pass the polygraph. And guess what? Doesn't matter. It's never going to be evidence. But then all the Melody Harris people who I just want to literally like do this to their throat, they're like, well, she's innocent. They didn't check the barn. You believe the story that they didn't check the entire barn. You don't know that they didn't check the entire barn. You just don't know it. They're not going to present every single scope and every piece of twig and every piece of splinter in that barn. It's not happening in any case ever in the United States. It just doesn't happen. It doesn't mean it's not a complete case. And it doesn't mean there's corruption everywhere. And even if there is corruption in Massachusetts, in Canton, right? Doesn't mean she's not guilty. You can have corruption. Mariana had it. Mariana had a guy who was putting evidence of drugs in people's cars. Fair. Doesn't mean they weren't guilty of speeding. They just weren't guilty of one thing. Doesn't mean they weren't guilty of something else. Obviously more money. But corruption doesn't, and it may not even have anything to do with Karen Reed. I mean, it's a completely different issue that the feds are taking care of. But you can't say that it's all corruption because there's a little bit of corruption in a police department. You just can't. You just can't. You can because you're on Twitter and YouTube. You can say whatever you want. But that doesn't mean the courts recognize it. And that's where the important things are. Fraudulent or false evidence, said that, legal non-defenses. The defendant argues that they do not believe he was required to pay taxes. Outcome, the court allowed the defense to argue good faith, misunderstanding, but clarified that deliberate ignorance or disagreement with the law is not a defense. Political or civil disobedience, right? Necessity or duress. Takeaways. Frivolous defenses often lack relevance, misrepresent the law, rely on speculative or inadmissible evidence, contradict established legal precedents. So then I have another question. This is my prompt. Has there ever been a criminal case in the U.S. where every piece of evidence the defense or prosecution wants to submit to the court was accepted by the court? Chat says, it's unlikely that any criminal case in the USA has ever allowed every single piece of evidence presented by either the prosecution or the defense to be admitted without some exclusions or challenges. This is because evidence is subject to strict rules of admissibility designed to ensure a fair trial and prevent prejudice, confusion, or irrelevant material from influencing the jury. However, there have been cases where the vast majority of evidence from one side was admitted because it complied with these rules. Below is an explanation. Rules of evidence. Is it relevant? Is it reliable? And is it not prejudicial? Polygraphs are not one of those. Objections. The opposing side typically challenges at least some evidence. Lack of foundation, hearsay, irrelevance, or unfair prejudice. It's like they were saying in the Melody Ferris, the judge was saying the geofence. Not that the geofencing data was bad. It was the person presenting it. So they had to go get another person to present the same evidence who was an expert. The person who was going to present it wasn't. She was just a tech, no offense. But they bring an expert in and then they say it, and then it's not unfair and it's not prejudicial. It's showing some backbone behind the evidence. Judicial gatekeeping. Judges often act as gatekeepers. I like to say referees, excluding evidence that doesn't meet the legal standards, even without objection from the opposing side. For instance, scientific evidence must pass the Daubert standard in federal courts, and even the Daubert hearing in the Karen Reed case with that Russell lady. Come on. Evidence cases where most evidence was accepted, strong evidentiary compliance in well-prepared cases, cases with video footage, clear forensic evidence, and direct witness testimony, simple fact patterns where both sides agree. Lack of opposition. In some cases, one side may strategically choose not to challenge. Plea agreements cases where the facts are largely undisputed, cases where the defense focuses on legal arguments rather than contesting. You hear that in Melody Ferris. They're like, well, we're willing to stipulate. And then the prosecution goes, we don't care if you're willing to stipulate. We're still presenting this evidence. They were trying to stop the jury from hearing from the witness by saying we stipulated. They're basically cock blocking, and the prosecution wasn't having it. Notable examples, the trial of Timothy McVeigh. Most of the prosecution evidence was admitted due to its strong compliance with the rules. However, some defense arguments about alternative suspects were excluded as speculative. You just can't bring up ethereal nonsense and expect the court of law to be okay with that. And that's what was happening. Literally, the twants are out on Richard Allen. They're like, I know he's innocent. He is 100%. Nobody's 100% of anything, right? There's always that. Well, that's why we have reasonable doubt. But you personally, unless you saw him at the Walgreens making more photos that day, you absolutely on Twitter have no idea that he's 100% innocent. You can't say that. He puts himself at the scene and he said he was guilty. And don't get me on this whole, he was in confinement. You know who's been in confinement for a very long time is Charlie Adelson. You know why? Because he has threats against his life. So until he moved to South Dakota, where there's fewer of that minority gang up there, he was in solitary confinement. From the time he was convicted until they moved him, he was in solitary. He didn't do anything wrong to be in solitary. It wasn't a punishment to be in solitary. It was to protect him. And the same with Richard Allen. He was in solitary for 2.5 years to protect him. He was not allowed freedom of movement. A jail cannot protect people that are in that kind of danger. They just can't. Don't even look at Rikers if you're thinking that he was abused in Indiana. You have no idea what that Luigi guy is going to go through, because Rikers is one of the worst prisons in the world. They just don't care, aka Epstein. They're not keeping you alive. They just turn the cameras off. But it has nothing to do with Indiana, or they had to keep the man alive to try him. That's why they put you into one of those suicide suits, because you're not allowed to legally kill yourself because the government wants the right to convict you, and then you can die, but not by your own hand, right? You can't be by your own hand. You can't mitigate it. What does a death row inmate have to go through to end their appeals? I mean, they can't even say, I want to end my appeals. Go ahead. Let's bring the shooting line up. They won't do it. The government does everything in their own way. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you because people really annoy me that don't read and really just want to make decisions about someone's innocence or guilt without having all the facts. They don't even want to hear the facts or read the facts. They're just like, I know he is. So it's just like, this is where I wanted to tie it in to Allison, my father's alibi. The people who are more pro-prosecution, like myself, we all need to stick together somehow, because the free people, the innocence fraud group, are very collective. They're very stick-to-itiveness. They have some sort of like underlying cultish belief system that the people who just believe in the justice system is going to work it as the justice system should. We don't have that. We don't have the PR. We don't have the lashing out. I think Turtle Boy, I hate saying that name. I think that man, Turd Boy, has created a situation of fear. I'm not afraid, but people are. People have told me they were afraid of KCL, that they're afraid to do anything about the dog because they're afraid. I'm not afraid, but I'm only one voice. And I think we need to all kind of stick together. If you feel like that whole innocent fraud is really a fraud, and when we see it on Twitter, I want it out of my feed. I don't even want to open Twitter and see this nonsense. I want it all to go away. So I call them out, and they're not used to it because they're virtue signaling. They want to be I don't even think some of these people really believe what they're saying. It's hard for me to think that they really believe it. That they really believe that man is so innocent that they would put him in the bed with their child. Like, that's how innocent that they sound. But they know that's not true. It's like Jose Ibarra. Everyone's like, it had to be his brother. It had to be someone else. Are you kidding me? How much more evidence do you need? What, couldn't have been him? He said so, so it's not him. What? What are you smoking? Are you shitting in the woods with that attorney? So I just think somehow we need to find a way to become a collective and refute this nonsense that eats up the Twitter molecule or the YouTube molecule, because they're all out there. It is something to behold. Kathy Allen is a saint. She is a saint, they say. That woman, what the government has put her through when her husband has done nothing wrong. Are you all crocked? I know these people aren't going to watch me, so probably I'm talking to myself, but are they really crocked? He is never getting out. There is no light of day that he will see where he's not behind prison walls. Move to Idaho and start on that one, because this is done. He is done. And even the prosecution, they're going after the family. They're literally saying that poor child Kelsey had something to do with this. Well, isn't it something that the family, the German family and the Patty family, didn't speak for themselves? Isn't it something that they didn't mention the girl's name more than 5 times? Isn't it something that they mentioned this person instead of? Isn't it something that they know Holman's corrupt, so Richard Allen's innocent? What? That's what they do. The conflation. I'll go back to Melody Ferris, that female prosecutor, which her name escapes me right now. She literally said, we have no dog in this fight. If we thought Scott was guilty, we would have arrested him and indicted him. But there's no evidence. But you're like, corruption has to be corrupt. Everything's corrupt if we can't find it. If you don't believe what we believe, you must be corrupt, which is, again, you've got to be right. You have to. You have to look good and you got to be right. And these people go on these streams of Twitter and YouTube and they're on Instagram too, and the Facebook groups, and they're like, we're right. I'm petty. Call me petty. You're still at 20. And he's still guilty. Some of these people are attorneys. What are they thinking, bashing this family? Who I've screenshot them. I was like, I'm going to email these to the German family. Whatever they want to do with it, they can do. But they should go after and sue for defamation. Their name is being slandered and defamed all over the place. And people they're convinced releasing those photos of the girl was a good thing. I'm like, who do you work for? One lady's paralegal. Who do you work for? I'm not telling you that. I'll find out. I'll find out who you work for. Because I'm going to ask the attorney you work for if this is a good thing, that you're using your role as a paralegal to come out and just make all of these statements without any facts about any of these people. You either step up and say it or change your name on Twitter, because you probably shouldn't be using your legal name and your role as a licensed paralegal. It probably shouldn't be doing that. Maybe not. But it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. They're like, oh, what's wrong with it? The family doesn't want those photos out of the girls because they know what they did. Are you kidding me? It's insane. It's absolutely insane. But until people, and I know some people, Maui Swift, she follows me on Twitter. She's got to know. I have never called so many people a twant in my life as I have this weekend. Murder by Maestro, too, he's seen it. He's like, she's probably losing her mind. But they are. They're absolutely. And it's all started from whatever collective and the Kardashians. Well, if Kim Kardashian says they're innocent, they must be innocent. I'm like, no, that's not how this works. I only realized the other day the crime scene photos that had leaked had naked dead. Yes. And I hope that they go after every single person that has shared that. And then okay, so the prosecution says that, the lead prosecutor, and they're like, oh, well, if they don't, why don't they want it to be seen? Why don't they want the sticks to be seen? It must be the sticks. It must be a Satanist. It must be, oh, here's the other one, an Aryan Brotherhood who's faking the Odinism. Whatever. And then there's did you guys see this Erica chick on the YouTube? She's a paralegal and she's like, I know it's all coming out. Why didn't it all come out during the trial, Namrod? Like, why didn't it not come out then? And Law and Crime had her on. Talk about being snookered. Court TV or Law and Crime had that woman on. I know exactly what happened. If you knew what happened, then you should have told law enforcement, and you probably did, and they probably laughed at you, or you just got a free bid to be on Court TV. One of the two, Erica. She couldn't have allowed the Odinism on here. Tennis, because of the rule of evidence. There was nothing to tie the Odinism to the crime. You have to have something more than the theory or the way the twigs were laid out. That is not evidence. It is CP, regardless if the parent doesn't want it out. Theories and beliefs are not evidence. Odinism is stupid. Linda from the channel, it's a crime. I don't know if she's currently being stalked, but she had weirdos in the past. She just stopped posting. It's not like her. She has over 200 subs. I mean, I'm sorry, but I think the the judge had no choice but to not allow Odinism. Kim Kardashian says innocent, I see. And she didn't pass her bar. She didn't even pass the mini bar, literally. I really bring the sauce. People are getting away with conspiracy theories because if you didn't see the killer commit the crime, you can't say they did it. Don't. That woman, well, I don't think there's no way. I mean, I know he got his death sentence commuted, but let's face it. California doesn't kill people on death row. It doesn't really matter. But it's crazy what they're doing. Seagate makes up their own mind. Good for you. People like Turd Boy and KCL at the end of the day don't care about the outcome. They don't. They're addicted to the dopamine fix that they get from protecting themselves into the online stratosphere. And all I want to do is chew. My dopamine fix involves chewing. That's it. I got to have gum. I got to have something. What about the FBI murder? Even bloody footprints leading from the to the perp isn't enough for some people. Nope, Angela, it's not. I know his name. I just don't like saying it. Oh. I so appreciate that. I was honestly expecting people would turn on me because they have differences of opinion. I don't think so in here. My father's alibi. I can't imagine that that would happen. Not here. Solidarity. I know we got to figure something out because I don't know, tag each other on Twitter or something. I know that the Karen Reed thing is really falling apart. It really is. And I know there's still a lot of FKRs out there, but I think it's really falling apart. The state, in her case, just hired a forensic veterinarian from the University of Florida that's going to contradict what Marie Russell says. So now I hope that they keep Marie Russell because that will be huge. You just have ADHD. It takes a village to rebound them and secure justice against these innocent fraud junkies. It is really a junkie situation. Literally a junkie situation, right? Let me go to this one. I mean, I could sit and read this all day. I could read these all day long. This opinion, no one asked me. I don't believe justice has been served. While Richard Allen is now serving a 130-year sentence, I'm convinced it's for a crime he didn't commit. He's convinced. You know, it's a girl. All of these, I call them RA twunts, which I think you can figure out what twunt means, that follow this man and think he's innocent. And it's really mostly women. It's unbelievable. This means the real murderer is still out there free while these two young girls and their families remain without the justice they deserve. They were bright, full of life, and had their future stolen. Their families have endured unimaginable pain. We owe it to them to keep fighting for the truth. Judge Gull is a witch. That's it. No proof she's a witch, just she is. Justice should mean holding the right person accountable, not just closing the case. There you go. The amount of people that say he's guilty just because prosecutors said so. Not the jury, right? They don't count. They threw shit at the wall and it barely stuck. Barely. Dude, took 4 days because they were thoughtful jurors that were from another town. Got a jury to agree just because of the other hidden evidence. It's hidden. So much reasonable doubt. It feels gross. I feel gross for having read that out loud. I couldn't agree more. This is constant. You could put, I couldn't agree more, in a search and find all of these yahoos at one time. Or they'll do the famous that or this with an exclamation point. This. You and I have always been on the same page. This time is vastly different. Did you see the law enforcement presser after the verdict? More details on gag order, and law enforcement couldn't speak as the defense put out false stories and messages. The Odin lie is absurd. And I sincerely respect your opinion. I'm on the fence, but I've always leaned towards not guilty or nor guilty. If they become verified, they can edit. It seems like an absolute sham of a trial. If they would just retry him in a different state. It's the state of Indiana versus Richard Allen. It's not the German family versus Richard Allen, or the Patty family, Richard Allen, or the Holmans versus Richard Allen. It is the state of Indiana versus Richard Allen. With all the evidence allowed, I believe the outcome might be different. All the evidence allowed, the evidence that they want allowed, not all the evidence like the true, it's just their definition of evidence. I think the judge prevented his team to truly defend him by not allowing evidence. He did not had a chance with her. I've got the same feeling. It's all feeling based, not belief based or logic based. Based on the trial, this case wasn't proven beyond a reasonable doubt. I feel evidence was weak. Now, this is a trial that no one has seen other than the 26 people that were allowed in the courtroom. And no one has witnessed, and no one has seen all the evidence. They weren't allowed to see it. So transcripts will be coming out, but they have no idea what was there. All they know is their YouTuber said that evidence wasn't submitted. Respectfully, he looks very much like the bridge guy, because he is. Thanks for the opinion. I think the bridge guy is someone else that looks very alike. Who? Here's one Shazlik on our side. I appreciate your opinion. I'm going to give mine, even though no one asked me, Taylor. I think they got the right guy. I listen to Hidden True Crime. Fair play. Good for her. Richard Allen killed Libby. He is where he belongs. Of course the real killers are free. Another female. And quite happy about that. The fake ass press conference with parts cut out told me that. Absolute sellouts. Just like the Idaho 4. Just moving to the next one. He is innocent. The truth will come out. The presser those actors put on yesterday was disgraceful, blaming everyone else. They all know the truth will come out. They're trying to cover their arses. One lady, she was like, it's all coming out. We are going to be the voice. And she's from Wales. I'm like, girl, you're not doing anything. There was another one from Australia. Look, your voice literally, no offense to my MBM and my friends in other countries, literally means nothing. Like, it's just bad PR at that point. Alan is BG, fair play. The case is the definition of corruption. The sneaky, underhanded games pulled by the DA and law enforcement said it all. From hiding evidence to the written conventions not matching his signature. Also held in solitary, being abused since day one for no reason. It doesn't add up. Don't say you're going to kill yourself. I bet don't kill two girls, because someone's going to. I mean, did you guys see where that pedophile was killed the same week he showed up at the prison? He was just sentenced a couple of months ago. I think it was like 2 months. He was just sentenced and he was dead, and they haven't released his cause of death. 2 pedophiles were killed on the same day. I agree. Justice isn't served. Rachel, another female. The wrong man is in prison. I don't believe he committed the murders. This case has never set well with me. Hollis, another female. The pose, they're all in the same pose. Their hands are in the chin. Something has always seemed very off. I have a sinking feeling it was the old man who owned the property. Another female. History buff. There's one. I 100% agree with you. I'm a local. We all know there's more Indiana police half-ass investigating and local cops, and local cops. You don't have to look very far to see these assholes get it wrong more times than not. No proof, just a comment. Thanks, Tim. I can see what's happening, and I'm not from there. I'm convinced. Have fun, little Richard. Murderer. Go for it, Ryan. There's no other. And Mac. But I think he did it, but he wasn't alone. I honestly agree with you, except I think there were multiple people. I still feel like it wasn't proven he did it. Like, what do they need? Him lying on top of the girls? Him taking the clothes off? I pray someone takes up this man's case. This is just one thread. Like, I have been responding to these people not nice. Like, I'm going to have to go to confession again, because the things I'm calling them out loud and in public is, my mother would be upset. There are people that believe it. There are people that do believe it, even though he got on the stand and said, that's why, then why do we have a jury system in place? Why? They think it's a democracy up in that courtroom. I guarantee you it's not. You think it's a democracy? Go to Donna Adelson's trial and turn your phone on. And let's everyone vote if you should be allowed to have your phone on. See what the judge does. I know you're not putting down their gender. I'm putting down the gender of those women, because there's more women. I did a count. Yesterday on the Richard Allen thing, it was like a ton of women were like pro. I just think because women are more soft. It's not bad. I think women are more rely on their feelings than maybe logic. I'm an INTJ, which is a more rare personality type for women. Most women are softer, believe in the better good, where I don't believe in them. I don't believe in the good. I don't believe, it's very philosophical, but I believe you have to train your child. I don't believe anyone is just born innately good or innately bad, that you have to train, just like that dog. Just like that person, the heart space dog. The dog was probably born neutral, right? Train, love, nurture, kindness, food, treats, more treats than most anything when they're that age. And then the joy abounds. But if you abuse a child from the day one, the child's going to react and you're going to have a problem. But I think most women, that it's just like the woman on Charlie Adelson, not Charlie Adelson, Catherine Magbanua's jury, the first one, where it was her and Siegfried, and she just could not put a woman in prison. Why were they able to flesh that out prior to sitting there on the jury? But she was the holdout, and she was just like, I can't do it. And she was pregnant at the time. She's like, I can't. Very rare for a man to do that. It's more women. And that's just logic. That's not a gender issue. Thumper says, there it is. My instincts lean towards being tougher than most. I'm a rule follower. I'm an INTJ, and I'm very much a rule follower. But I do, what's BS, Seagate? That most women are softer? I don't think so. I think most women, like, I don't know if you're in the United States, but women here are they're just softer. They just are. It's not I just think it's an innate thing, because women are nurturers. They don't want to think the worst of people. I'll go back to that little girl that was killed and thrown into a ditch in Miami. And the landlord I work with, she was on that jury, and one woman just could not do it. She just could not imagine that the woman on trial could have harmed that girl, and it went from the death penalty to life in prison. She just couldn't do it. Oh, you think women are softer? Oh, I think so. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Women are softer. I'm agreeing with you. Lily, you don't want to know. Nothing bad. I mean, it's defined bad, just you can't keep a puppy caged, right? You can't do it to a human, you can't do it to a dog, can't do it to a cat. Cat will kill you. You can't treat people badly because it will come back to literally bite you. And a dog is a puppy. Her dog is still a puppy. What is that, cockapoo? I wonder, I'm dying to know. Where is it? She Brackley? What is it? Happy Valley. She's not far from Penn State. Well, I'm going to do some research on that. Weird. Oh, good for you, Seagate. You stand up. Oh, see, yeah, I was in the military. I worked in a hospital where and this is 22 years ago when you didn't have a Me Too or you didn't have anything. Now, I had fun in the military. I'm not disparaging it at all, but I think you had to, in my day and age, had to be a certain personality type to fit in so you could thrive. Remember the boy in the box trial, Mia says, in the recent years? Exactly. You can't just keep a living thing in a cage because you don't want to deal with them. And then say, I have it. It's a possession. That's all that is. Oh, I read that. I read that a long time ago. You're correct, Patty. Gavin de Becker's book, The Gift of Fear, addresses that and why women fall prey to serial killers. They ignore their sixth sense. Right? So did you guys watch the dating game murder movie with Anna Kendrick? Did you watch it? It was like the girl of the hour, I think is what it was called. Dude, that thing really bothered me. That movie, I watch a lot of murder movies, but that movie really bothered me because those girls were willing to get a photographer to take their picture and call them beautiful. They were willing to give up everything. Every sense of self, they were willing to give up to be with that freak, to have their picture taken, to be slaughtered. And that's what happened. What do I think about ignorance versus education? I do believe people aren't educated enough on law and on cases to understand the justice system. I do too. It's not even it is their fault because ChatGPT is free. I know those things, but I didn't know what I wanted. A case, like everything in the law, a case should follow up. It can't just be my opinion of why it's not. And then I know the judges don't have time to sit there and educate every YouTube watcher on what evidence is allowed to be presented and submitted to the court to be in front of the jury and have the jury take it back. Melody Ferris again, remember? They were like, oh, you can have all of this. You can talk about it, but it won't be able to go back with the jury. And that was on the geofencing until you get A, B, and C done. And they have those conversations, and I wish more people would watch those trials. Florida versus Tim Ferritter. The parents locked away their son and specifically created, constructed a portion of the garage. Jesus, Mary and Joseph. Good for you, Tater. I can smell crazy. Well, I like that. I've had a dude that tried to abuse me, and I've ended up beating the shit out of him. I'd fallen prey to it when I was much younger. But that movie really psyched me up. Like it was. And then watch, I don't know if you've watched it, but you see Anna Kendrick walking across this desolate parking lot, and he's kind of off the right to her and behind her, and he's walking along, and she's just trying to get to her car. She's trying to get to her car, and it's after the dating game, and it's. I had to ponder that movie for a while because it was very upsetting to me. Creative Mind says, I only use the crate when we leave because my dog is naughty. He would chew up the entire house. Yeah, some people have to do that. Crate training is wonderful when done properly. All dogs need a certain amount of it so they have a safe space. And let's pretend she is doing all of that properly with the crate and the cock poop. Let's pretend all of that is done. Why are you doing a YouTube with the dog in the crate right next to you? So it's just making all that noise. And you're trying to do a live. I mean, it's just, timing is everything. Like, I don't, except for that time when the toilet walked across the back of me. Like, I try not to do a YouTube. If people show up, they show up. When I know personally that they're showing up. I've had Roscoe on here a couple times, but Roscoe wants to run around in here. He'll be on my lap for a short period of time. This is one big circle, and he gets to run and chase his tail, and he loves that. It's too distracting. You can't do it. If the poor puppy doesn't need to be in a crate, I know. Let's pretend. Tater's not going to be abused. From what I read that, and John Smith saying that about Richard Allen. I read that, and then it was on CBS News, and then someone said that wasn't true. He didn't have attorneys assigned, but that he requested to be in the prison. It's just like Charlie Adelson. According to my son, who worked correction for years, you have to, when you're just in general pop, you have to request, this is post-conviction, to be in, not confinement, but in close quarters and be in protective custody. You have to request it. And you have to give a reason. And, that reason can go away, and then you have to renew it. So eventually, the gangs maybe got too close, whatever. They had to move him to South Dakota. But there's nothing to say that he's not in some sort of protective custody up there. We just don't get to know because it's South Dakota. Lori Daywell went from mother serial killer to lawyer. Where's her conscience? She got convicted of 3 counts of murder, being charged for a murder for her 4th husband, acts like nothing happened. Because, I mean, some of these women you look at and you're like, maybe you have an extra half a chromosome or something. But you're just too nice. Naive. Wear a helmet all day. I don't know. But women can be just as evil, Eileen Wuornos, as men. They just can. And to say I'm not going to convict someone because she has young children, you have no business being on the jury. Lori is a psychopath. Look how she treats the dog when she knows the world is watching, right? You are not kidding. I thought about that this morning. Oh, I had a client here who had wolves. He had wolves in his house. He was like a registered wolf person that he was allowed to have wolves. And so I went to go list his home, and I was like, you need to really move before we do this. And he's like, well, I can't. I'm like, well, I can't list your house. You got wolves, dude. You can't list your home. He had 3 wolves, but he was allowed. He goes, well, I'm allowed. I'm not saying you're not allowed. I'm saying no. I'm not listing it. Someone else could. As a felon, you can't vote, but you could be a lawyer. True. Christine says, that's why the creepy old men want young girls without baggage, us seasoned gals. No. For Real Murder says, if you can't domesticate a dog, it's a dog. They're already trained. And cockapoos are like my Maltese. It's just time. I didn't know. I had to read because I'd never had a puppy, like a baby puppy. It's a lot of work. I'm like, it's a lot of work. But One of us were there with the dog almost all the time. I can believe it. My Goldens both love them, love their crates in my room with the door open, even when they didn't fit anymore. I told them they were nuts. It's crazy. James, give him a hug. Oh, thank you, Tennis. Well, he's out in New Mexico. His kids flew out to see him yesterday. Or no, this morning. They should have landed today. So he was super excited. His boys flew into Dallas, and he'll have them for the next 2.5 weeks. So I know he's super excited. Let's pretend. I only created mine when he was a puppy. I know. I mean, I have a crate. I just can't imagine my dog. Wolves are outlawed in Canada. He has some sort of like wolf thing in Tallahassee. There's like a wolf. A preserve. That's the word. Yeah, it's not far from here. It's a preserve, and that's how he got the wolves. Couldn't think of the word. Wolves are a problem in the Netherlands with the government suppressing info on it. Not a theory. A hospice. When humans adopt a puppy, they have to understand it's a puppy. It's like a baby. It is a baby. I mean, that's what I've said about her dog several times. It's a baby. You hold it, you cuddle it. It needs that. Wolf preserve sounds. Here it is. I'm not making it up. I know it sounds like I make all this shizzle up, but I'm not. Here it is. If group tours, we need your help. Wolf ambassadors. Outside of Chipley, which is like hour and 15 from here. That's where he got him. Adopt a wolf. He has like some sort of, I don't know what it is, but I was like, no one's showing your home like that, dude. Nobody. It's like, they can show it, but I'm not going to be a part of it. Oh, you volunteered at a wolf preserve. It was a good experience. Good for you, Gladys. Just thinking of all the amazing feats people have managed and bonds made with animals, it's not hard to stop a dog barking. It's like a baby crying. It's either cold, wet, or hungry, or hot. It's very little, or needs nurtured, like needs skin. Whose dog is it? Which one? The one I'm talking about? I had a client. Well, he didn't even really become a client, that had 2 wolves at home. I was like, I'll just stay over there. What? That poor man. What'd you say? I was told by my father, you train a child like you do a dog. Well, I train my dog like I did a child. You'll pass on adopting the wolf, I know. Should have seen the look on my face when I got there. I mean, they were beautiful, but nobody can list that house. This is just so sad. Oh, yeah, this is sad to me. Well, animal abuse cannot be tolerated. One guy here was just found guilty this last week. My parents' dog used to like to sleep in his crate when he was a boy. Now sleep on their bed and watch TV. Oh, yeah. So I tried to get, I'm like, Roscoe, let's watch the dog show together. He didn't have it. He didn't watch the dog show with me. He didn't think it was funny. He didn't want to watch it. He was not enthralled. Just think of all the amazing feats. I know. So sad. Like button. So I wanted to try something before I go. You don't have to do it if you don't want to. But I figured out a way to do a call-in thing. So maybe next time. So there's a banner that I'll have up. And it's like, this is the banner. So it's a call-in. You would call this number. And you would have to mute your YouTube or turn down the volume really low because you don't want feedback. But this is just a Google Voice number, and I have it contraption so I can answer it through my computer, and then you could actually call. So let me know if you guys, anyone would be interested in that. I thought it'd be fun. There's a couple people doing it, and they're doing it really well. I can't guarantee I would do it really well. But they're doing it, and it's more interaction. Sounds fun. You have to call. Can we hear our own voices? Yeah, it's just like calling in. It's just like you would call me if you called me on the phone. It's like calling into a radio station. It was at the lake house. Did anyone see the sentencing of that LaFountain woman that killed her 2 daughters too? See, I can't. Dude, did you guys see that guy decapitated his boy? He decapitated his 1-year-old. You used full words here. You ain't hearing your own voice. Stop it. You should think murder should be the first one. I know Greg Hughes does it. He does it through Streamlabs instead of StreamYard. He has I thought about hooking up the additional equipment. I'll see. Sounds good. However, you may need some type of moderator or mayor who thinks we're not interested in. Well, it would have to be with a topic. Lulu says, I love the idea of a call-in. Reminds me of radio, which I love radio. I mean, I love radio, so. Wishing everyone a happy, blessed Christmas. You too, Anya. You hate Eric hates change. Casey says, God, you'd hate my voice. Hey, Patty. First-time caller, long-time listener. Right? Just like Rush. I miss Rush Limbaugh. A very Merry Christmas to you, Debbie. Dolly Vision is a great true crime call-in show. I love him. I was watching this RV guy do it. It's like Papa RV. He's hilarious. He has great thumbnails. Like the whole thing is, he's very few followers. I'm surprised at the few subscribers he has because it's all, the package is fantastic, but he has very few subscribers. I think he has, her brother has schizoaffective disorder and bipolar, so it's kind of combination. He drives and has his own apartment, and he used to live with her father. I thought he was in a group home. I want to hear Susan talk about FBI things. That's me passing the buck. You want to do it, Jesse, Jesus lover? We have to test it first. Someone's going to have to call. Love, love, love the subs call-in idea. Well, thanks, YB. See, some people are positive. Casey repeatedly shares medical and psychiatric highly sensitive. Can you even imagine? Papa RV. Yes, thank you. Papa RV. T-Rev has Collins too. I know Gray Hughes has Collins. Lindsay Clancy, she unalived her 3 children and threw herself out the window. Oh, yeah, the woman who became paralyzed. We love a Texan accent, tennis girl. Call in. Great host, mods, and chatters. Thank you, Seagate. I'm very proud, I have to say. Let's do a test now. Okay, I'm going to post somebody can call me. We can test it. So here's the banner. I made it just for you all. Look at the little emojis. I heard someone say Casey. No, don't. I can't post that. We've been silent for so long, it will be strange to have a voice everyone can hear out loud. Yeah. I'll take my do not disturb off my phone. That's the first part. Come on, who do it? Because if there's text issues, you can help. I did call myself to see if it worked. It's just a Google voice. We've been silent for so. Shut the hell up. Someone did it.
Call from Taterbug.
Tater, did you hang up?
Press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2. Call from
Thumper.
Hello?
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Hello? Hello?
Patty.
Yes?
Hello. Okay, I'm muting my thing, but it's not Taterbug.
Well, I think Taterbug I think she was the first person to call.
It's Thumper.
Hi, Thumper. How are you? Can you guys hear?
Merry Christmas.
Message. Can you hear?
I can hear you, yeah.
Okay, good. I want to see if the chat can hear. Can they hear? Debbie called too. You can hear? Oh, yay, it works. Yay, Thumper, how are you?
I'm good. I am so glad to watch your show.
Oh, thank you.
I was saying earlier in chat, I really took a break after like Donna's trial got delayed like it did. And I fell down the deep, dark Meghan Markle rabbit hole. Help. Save me.
Like, was she really pregnant or wasn't she?
Oh, you know what? All of that, I would just have to tell you, it's just a sad story all around. Nobody should pay attention to it. They need to disappear for a little while, put their tail between their legs. Maybe they'll be able to get some sanity back and rejoin the rest of us in society.
That's so...
It's craziness. If you think a murder trial is crazy, start following Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. It's insane. It's ugly. Well, I'm going to jump off.
I can't stand her, so I'm asking,
Yeah,
is it louder now? Because I was messing with the volume. I want to know. Just stand by for just one second.
I know, but
just say something else.
Jump off to let someone,
yeah,
I was going to jump off and let someone else call in.
Okay, well, I did it. I fixed it on my end. Thanks, Thumper, for testing. It was good to hear you. Merry Christmas.
Happy Christmas, everybody. Thanks for having me, Patty. Bye. Bye. Bye.
It's hilarious. It's hilarious. It's louder now. I just turned the volume up on it. It's just Google Voice. That is so hilarious. I'm glad it worked. Cool beans. Next. Someone's got a call. If I would see one Meghan and Harry video, YouTube would keep pushing those videos. I dare not to even look. I know. You know she had a surrogate. Here's Gretchen.
Call from
Gretchen Tucker.
Hello.
Hey, Patty, it's Gretchen.
Hey, Gretchen, how are you?
Fine. I just walked in the door and I turned you on and I see my picture. That's so sweet.
Isn't the cutest thing?
Well, I didn't draw it, so I won't take credit for it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, the framed photo. Yes. This was her
Yeah.
gift. This was Gretchen's gift to me. This is
So,
very sweet. Her
anyhow.
niece did it. Mhm.
pretty cool.
So where are you going to be for Christmas?
Stay home. We'll be down there in February, though.
Oh, you're coming to St. Mark's?
Yes.
Well, you'll have to call me. You'll have to call me when
I
you're
will.
down.
I will. We'll go have dinner again.
All right. Well, cool. We'll talk to you soon. I'm glad this
All
worked.
right.
Everybody can hear? I'm asking the chat.
Oh.
Whew.
Yeah, it's a little delayed, so you definitely have to turn your volume down because the picture, YouTube doesn't
Oh, yeah. You
correlate
can't watch
with
yourself
the
talk.
audio. Yeah, so the video doesn't even correlate with the audio, but it's really cool.
Well,
We're
thank
back
you.
back to 1960 whatever now.
I know, right? That is so funny.
Bye, Patty.
Bye, Gretchen. Thanks again.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, bye.
That is fun. That'll be fun. So we'll do that next time. We'll have a call-in question and answer. That's so cool. Thank you guys for testing that for me. I really appreciate that it worked and the volume worked and didn't shut me down. I closed all my other tabs, so I didn't have to worry about that. Oh, here's someone else. Hold on.
call from
Hello.
Hello, Patty.
Hi. Who is this?
Hi, this is Rosemary Romero.
Hi, Rosemary. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. I'm glad to hear from you. This is a hoot.
Yeah, it's awesome. I'm enjoying this.
Good. I'm glad.
Yeah, good. I love your show.
Thank you. Very nice.
Yeah,
Call from Leon.
and look forward to seeing you in the new year and
Yes.
everything you bring to the show. So
Thank
it's been
you.
fun.
It's very nice. This is fun, and I have the Google Voice thing figured out and my sound. Thank you.
Oh, good, good.
Thanks.
So
Take care.
talk to you soon.
All right. Bye, Rosemary. Bye-bye.
Bye.
What a hoot. This is awesome. Maybe Donna or Charlie. Yes. I think someone who's emailing Donna can give her my number. Michelle, Merry Christmas to all and to all a good night. Enjoy the chat and the call-ins. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great night. If you're staying on YouTube, Roberta's up next. I really appreciate everyone for doing this for me. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.